There is a can sitting in almost every garage in the country, and for 70 years the professional repair world has treated it like a toy. Yet the exact same can was born out of a missile program, built to solve a problem that had nothing to do with squeaky doors or stuck bolts. Today it costs about $7, and if you actually read the list of things it was designed to do, you will start to wonder why anyone ever pays a shop to do them for you. Here's the problem almost everyone shares. A door hinge starts screaming. A rusted bolt refuses to turn. A lock freezes solid on the first cold morning of the year. The normal move is to either ignore it or hand it to a mechanic and pay for 30 minutes of labor to fix something that is really a 2-minute job. Specialty lubricants and rust removers sitting on hardware store shelves promise the same result for 2 or 3 times the price, and packaging designed to look more serious than a plain blue and yellow can ever could. Most people assume the fancier bottle must work better. That assumption is exactly what keeps this business profitable. The truth is a lot simpler than the marketing suggests. The chemistry inside that can is not exotic. It is a blend of light petroleum-based solvents and a thin lubricating oil, plus a carrier that helps it push into tight spaces. That is it. There is no secret ingredient, no proprietary breakthrough locked away in a patent filing. In fact, the company has never patented the exact formula at all, choosing instead to keep it as a trade secret, which is a small irony worth sitting with for a second, because the whole reason you don't hear about most of its uses is not concealment. It is that a $5 fix does not generate a service invoice, and nobody in a supply chain built around billable hours has much incentive to advertise that. To understand why this stuff works as well as it does, you have to go back to where it was actually invented, and it was not invented for your garage at all. In 1953, in a small lab in San Diego, a brand new outfit called Rocket Chemical Company set out to build a line of rust-proofing solvents for the aerospace industry. Their target was a very specific and very expensive problem: keeping the steel skin of the Atlas missile from corroding. The team, only a handful of people, worked through failed formula after failed formula, and it took 40 attempts before they landed on one that actually displaced water and held rust at bay long enough to matter. That 40th version became the name on the can: Water Displacement Formula 40. The first customer wasn't a hardware store. It was the contractor building that missile, and the story goes that workers were smuggling cans home in their lunchboxes because they liked what it did to their own tools and cars. By the late 50s, the company gave in to the demand and put it on shelves for everyone. The reason it does what it does is not magic, it's just basic physics playing out in your favor. Water and oil don't mix, and a thin oily film is very good at physically shoving a layer of moisture off metal and then sealing the surface behind it. Rust needs water and oxygen touching bare metal to get started, so if you displace the water and leave a light protective film, corrosion loses its foothold before it can start. The same oily solvent that displaces water is also good at breaking down other things that don't belong on a surface: waxy grime, sticky adhesive residue, baked on road tar, because those substances dissolve in the same class of light oils. One formula, one basic mechanism, applied to a dozen different annoyances. If the chemistry is this simple, why doesn't everyone already know all its uses? Mostly because of how repair economics work, not because of any deliberate cover-up. A mechanic's shop makes money on labor and on parts, not on telling you a bolt only needed patience and a $7 can. Specialty lubricant brands spend heavily on packaging and claims, specifically because their margins depend on you believing the plain can in the paint aisle can't possibly be enough. None of that is sinister. It is just business as usual, and it means the everyday, unglamorous uses rarely get marketing dollars behind them, so they spread by word of mouth in garages and machine shops instead of on store shelves. And garages are exactly where you'll find the proof. Long-haul truckers use it on tailgate hinges and trailer light plugs that live in constant road spray. Home mechanics keep a can by the toolbox specifically for wiping down wrenches before they go back in the drawer, because a light oil film is enough to keep humidity from starting rust overnight. Marina workers spray it into corroded trailer light sockets to bring dead turn signals back before a night launch. None of these are exotic tricks. They are the boring, repeated habits of people who fix things for a living and have simply stopped mentioning them out loud. If you want to put it to work, the method barely changes no matter the job. Spray directly onto the stuck, squeaky, or corroded point, and give it a minute or two to actually soak in before you touch anything, because the waiting is doing more of the work than the spraying. For a rusted bolt, spray, tap the head lightly to help it vibrate into the threads, then wait and repeat before you ever reach for a breaker bar. For a stuck seat track or a screeching hinge, work the part back and forth once it's had time to soak, so the film distributes evenly instead of pooling in one spot. Afterward, always wipe excess off with a rag, and follow with soap and water on any surface you'll be touching with bare hands, since an oily residue left sitting on paint or vinyl is its own small headache. None of this makes the can a universal fix, and treating it that way is where people get into trouble. Keep it away from brake rotors, pads, and drums, since any oil on a friction surface means longer stopping distances, full stop. Keep it off tires, because petroleum products make rubber slick and accelerate its breakdown. Don't rely on it as a permanent lock lubricant, since the light oil eventually attracts dust and gums the mechanism instead of protecting it. Use it as a winter rescue, then switch to a dry lubricant for the long term. And on anything with an electrical connection, carrying real current, know what you're spraying before you spray it. This is Secret Lab. And the point here was never that one can solve everything. It's that the gap between what something can actually do and what people assume it can do is usually where the real money gets wasted. The bigger habit worth taking from all this has nothing to do with rust or hinges. It's a reminder to ask, before paying for anything specialized, whether the plain, unglamorous version sitting on the shelf already does the job. Most of the time, somebody solved the problem decades ago, wrote it down, and it's been sitting in plain sight the whole time, waiting for someone curious enough to actually read the label.